A lot of people assume blurry vision is just part of getting older, something you accept and live around. You wake up with dry, scratchy eyes. You squint at a menu across the table, and the letters swim. Headlights at night turn into starbursts, and you grip the wheel a little tighter than you used to. But here is the truth. The truth, most appointments are too short to explain. It is not always just age. Eye doctors agree on this much. Past 60, your eyes become more fragile. Common age-related vision changes are becoming more frequent. In fact, reports of sight-related challenges among older adults are rising year after year. And I want to name what those changes actually take from people, because it is never just sharpness. It is the evening drive you started declining, the needle you cannot thread anymore, the pill bottle you hold at arm's length under the brightest lamp in the house, the grandchild's expression across the room that you smile at anyway because you could not quite read it. Vision loss steals in inches, and every inch is a piece of independence. That is why I take this subject seriously, and why you should too. Here is the part almost nobody tells you. A great deal of the wear happens at night. While you sleep, your retina is supposed to rest, recover, and restock. That is the light-sensing tissue at the back of your eye. It is some of the hungriest tissue in your whole body. When it does not get the nutrients and blood flow it needs, the light-sensing cells wear down. Slowly, silently. Most people notice nothing until the damage has been building for years. So here is the question I hear almost every week. Why is my vision getting blurry? And is there anything natural I can do to support my eyes without another prescription or a surgical consult? Here is the honest answer. Drops, stronger glasses, and procedures mostly manage symptoms. They matter, and sometimes you truly need them. But they do not feed the tissue doing the seeing. Meanwhile, the vision industry earns billions every year managing those symptoms. Nobody profits when you eat better, so nobody advertises it. The good news is real, and it is not hype. The largest eye nutrition trial ever run, funded by the National Institutes of Health, showed that specific nutrients slow the progression of. Those nutrients are not rare. They are sitting in the fruit aisle. Today, I will walk you through 7 fruits with real research behind them, which ones matter, why they work, and exactly how to eat them so your eyes can actually use them. And the number 1 on this list will surprise you. It is the most ordinary fruit in your kitchen. And a long-running study that followed thousands of adults for 15 years linked it to meaningfully lower risk of the leading cause of vision loss. Before we count down, give me 30 seconds, because this matters. The average American over 60 now takes 4 or 5 prescription medicines a day. Your grandparents' medicine cabinet held a fraction of that, and they were not weaker people. The difference was never willpower, it was knowing. The small, plain, low-cost fixes that used to be handed down across kitchen tables. I helped gather 97 of them into one illustrated manual. 97 plain fixes for the body after 60. Sleep, hydration, balance, strength, the eyes included. 855 pages in plain language with a 7-day roadmap to start and a full guarantee. None of it replaces your doctor. All of it belongs in your house. The link is below this video. That is the last you will hear of it. All right, back to it. I have spent my career in medicine, and much of it with older adults who refuse to accept decline as a schedule. Before we begin, tell me where you are watching from. Drop your city or country in the comments. This community is real, and I read it. And one more thing, because it is genuinely important. Everything in this video is educational. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice. If your vision is changing, if one eye has gone blurry, if you are seeing flashes or new floaters, see a licensed eye care professional promptly. Some eye problems are emergencies. Your eyes are too important to gamble with. Now, let us count down from number 7. Number 7, kiwi. Small, fuzzy, and easy to walk past. But for aging eyes, kiwi earns its place. Here is the problem it speaks to. Your retina runs on 2 pigments called lutein and zeaxanthin. Think of them as internal sunglasses. They sit in the layers of your retina, absorb harsh blue light, and soak up oxidative stress before it reaches the cells that do the seeing. Your body cannot make them. Every milligram arrives on a fork. Here is what that wear feels like in real life. Road signs that used to be crisp at 100 yards now sharpen at 50. Headlights that used to be points of light now bloom into stars. Morning vision that takes an hour and 2 cups of coffee to fully arrive. That is not simply a birthday. That is oxidative stress accumulating in tissue that never gets a day off. Your retina works every waking second of your life. It deserves supplies. Kiwi is one of the fruit world's better sources of lutein. Gram for gram, it outranks most of the fruit bowl. And it brings a bonus that matters more than people think. Kiwi is one of the few foods with meaningful natural serotonin, and small trials have linked eating kiwi in the evening with deep sleep is when your eyes do their maintenance. The nutrient and the sleep arrive together. How to use it? 1 or 2 ripe kiwis about an hour before bed. Golden kiwi carries more lutein and less acid if your stomach is sensitive at night. And do not carve away the flesh right under the skin. That layer is where the antioxidants concentrate. Scoop with a spoon close to the pill, no procedure, just a $2 fruit working a night shift. Number 6, watermelon. If your vision stays blurry for an hour after you wake, listen closely. With age, tear production drops and the fine blood flow to the retina slows. That sluggish overnight circulation is a big part of foggy mornings. Think about what your tear film actually is. It is a 3-layer coating, thinner than a soap bubble, that your eyelids repaint across your cornea thousands of times a day. Every blink is a fresh coat. When you are even mildly dehydrated, that paint gets thin and the world gets scratchy and smeared. Most people fix it with drops from a bottle. The bottle treats the symptom. The glass of water treats the supply line. Watermelon is more than 90% water, so the hydration alone helps your tear film. But the deeper story is lycopene. Watermelon is one of the richest sources of it in the produce section. Lycopene is a carotenoid antioxidant, and population studies keep linking carotenoid-rich diets with healthier aging eyes. Watermelon also carries citrulline, an amino acid your body uses to make nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is the molecule that relaxes and widens blood vessels, including the tiny capillaries that feed the retina. Better flow, better delivery, better nights. How to use it? 1 to 2 cups of chilled seedless watermelon about half an hour before bed. Skip the salt. Too much sodium can be tough on your body's internal balance and overall wellness. And do not throw out the white rind. That is where the citrulline concentrates. Blend a little of it into a smoothie if you want the full benefit. Simple fruit, serious plumbing. Number 5, black currants. Tiny, deep purple, and most Americans have never bought them once. That is a shame because the research here is some of the most interesting on this list. The problem they speak to is night vision and the optic nerve, halos around headlights, slow adjustment walking from a bright room into a dark one, strain and dim light that no new glasses prescription fixes. Let me describe the person this one is for. You drive to dinner while it is still light, and you plan the drive home before you order because the dark drive worries you. Oncoming headlights leave a green ghost across your view for 3 full seconds. When the restaurant is candlelit and charming, you are the one quietly tipping the menu toward the window. If that is you or someone you love, pay attention to this one. Black currants are extraordinarily rich in anthocyanins. Those are the pigments that make them nearly black. Ounce for ounce, they carry several times more than most berries on the shelf. In the eye, anthocyanins calm low-grade inflammation, support the small blood vessels, and help recycle rhodopsin. Rhodopsin is the pigment your rods use to see in the dark. Here is the study worth knowing. A 2-year placebo-controlled trial in glaucoma patients gave one group about 50 milligrams of blackcurrant anthocyanins a day. The treated group kept measurably better blood flow around the optic nerve, and their visual field loss progressed more slowly than the placebo group. 2 years, placebo-controlled. in a real eye disease. That is not marketing. How to use them. Fresh black currants are hard to find in stores. Frozen ones work. So does a standardized black currant extract, around 50 milligrams of anthocyanins, taken in the evening. Pair it with a few walnuts or a slice of orange. A little fat and vitamin C help the absorption. Your grandmother's currant bush knew something, friend. Science is just catching up. Number 4, blueberries. You probably have them at home right now, and you are probably eating them in a way that wastes half their benefit. The problem they speak to is oxidative wear in your light-sensing cells. Decades of sunlight add up. Your natural antioxidant defenses thin with age. Slowly, you find yourself squinting at fine print and turning on more lamps. And there is a modern problem stacked on top of the old one: screens. The average retiree now spends more hours on a phone, a tablet, and a television than their grandchildren do. Every one of those hours asks your focusing muscles to hold a fixed, close distance and bathes your retina in concentrated light from inches away. Your eyes evolved for horizons, and we gave them lamps. Blueberry anthocyanins are among the best studied of all berry compounds. Trials in heavy screen users have reported less eye fatigue and better comfort in dim light with daily berry anthocyanins. It is one of the few food effects that people actually feel within weeks, which is rare in nutrition. And the small, dark, wild blueberries, the ones in the frozen section, carry roughly twice the anthocyanin density of the big, shiny, fresh ones. Frozen is not the budget option here. It is the potent option. Now, the 2 mistakes. First, dairy. There is decent evidence that milk proteins bind these compounds and blunt their absorption. Keep your berries and your yogurt at least an hour and a half apart. Second, thorough washing. The compounds concentrate in and just under the skin. Rinse well right before eating. How to prepare them? About 1/3 of a cup of wild blueberries, 45 minutes before bed. Freeze and thaw them once. The ice crystals break the cell walls, and more of the good material actually reaches you. Same berry, double the delivery. Number 3, avocado. Yes, it is a fruit. And on this list, it is the multiplier. Here is the problem it solves. Almost every eye nutrient we have discussed is fat-soluble. Lutein, zeaxanthin, lycopene, vitamin E. Eaten alone, most of it passes straight through you. Your gut needs fat present to package these compounds and ship them into your blood. I want you to picture something, because this is the mistake I see constantly. A patient eats a beautiful spinach salad, fat-free dressing, berries on top, feeling virtuous. And most of those precious carotenoids sail through and are gone by morning, not absorbed, not used, wasted for want of a teaspoon of fat. It is one of the quietest failures in healthy eating, and almost nobody has ever explained it to them. Avocado brings the fat and the nutrient in one package. It carries its own lutein, and its oil is exactly the vehicle that lutein needs. In a controlled feeding study, adding avocado to a meal multiplied the lutein absorbed from that meal several times over. Other work has linked months of daily avocado with rising lutein levels and improving macular pigment. Think of avocado as the delivery truck for everything else on this list. How to use it? 1/4 to half an avocado in the evening alongside your fruit, or a few slices with dinner. If you take a lutein supplement, take it with avocado instead of on an empty stomach. And keep the darkest green flesh right against the peel. That is where the carotenoids sit. The fruit is good, the escort service is better. Number 2, goji berries. Bright red, slightly sweet, and used for eye health in traditional Chinese medicine for over 2,000 years. Here, the old story and the new data actually agree. The problem they speak to is the macula. That is the small central zone of your retina that does your sharpest seeing, reading, faces, colors. Age-related macular degeneration attacks exactly there, and it is a leading cause of irreversible vision loss in older adults. Understand what is at stake with the macula. It is smaller than a grain of rice, and it does the seeing you care about most. When people lose macular function, they do not go dark. They lose faces. They lose print. They keep the edges of the world and lose the middle, the exact part they are looking at. Anyone who has watched a parent go through it. The macula is worth protecting while it is still healthy. Goji berries are one of the densest natural sources of zeaxanthin on Earth, and zeaxanthin is the pigment that concentrates. Your body ships it there deliberately, like sandbags, to the exact wall the flood hits first. In a small university trial, healthy middle-aged adults who ate a modest handful of goji berries 5 days a week for 3 months measurably increased their macular pigment density. The placebo-style comparison group did not. Macular pigment is your retina's own sunscreen. Thicker is better. I will add one honest caution here, because a real doctor gives you the fine print. If you take warfarin or other blood thinners, talk to your physician before adding goji berries regularly. They can interact. That is not a reason for fear. It is a reason for a 2-minute conversation at your next appointment. Ways to apply them. Soak 2 tablespoons of dried goji berries in warm water for 10 minutes and eat them about half an hour before bed. Soaking softens them and is kinder to older digestion. And pair them with a square of very dark chocolate. Cocoa flavanols support the same small vessel circulation and the macula depends on. 2,000 years of tradition, 13 weeks of data, same conclusion. And number 1. The fruit at the top of this list is the orange. Not exotic, not expensive. Sitting in a bowl on your counter right now. I can hear the disappointment from here. You wanted something rare, something from a mountainside in another hemisphere with a name you cannot pronounce. Here is my answer to that. The supplement industry needs eye health to sound exotic because exotic can be priced at $60 a bottle. An orange cannot. And yet the orange is backed by the kind of evidence most supplements can only dream about. Here is the study, and I want you to notice how different it is from the usual nutrition headline. This was not 12 people for 2 weeks. A long-running Australian eye study followed thousands of adults for 15 years, tracking what they ate and what happened to their eyes. 15 years is long enough for macular degeneration to actually develop, which is exactly what makes the finding worth your attention. People who ate oranges regularly, even 1 orange a day, had meaningfully lower odds of developing macular degeneration than people who almost never ate them. 15 long years. Thousands of people. An ordinary orange. The researchers pointed at flavonoids. Flavonoids. Oranges are rich in a family of them that supports the small blood vessels and calms inflammation, exactly the quiet processes that grind down an aging retina. And the vitamin C matters too. Your eye's lens holds one of the highest vitamin C concentrations in your body, and diets rich in it are consistently linked with healthier lenses. Not a megadose pill. Food, how to use it. 1 whole orange in the evening, an hour or so before bed. Whole fruit, not juice. The juice strips the fiber and spikes your blood sugar, and high blood sugar is itself an enemy of the retina. Squeeze a little of the peel's oil over the segments if you enjoy the flavor. And if you take nothing else from this video, take this. The most studied eye fruit on this list costs 50 cents. Now, before we finish, 5 rules. And I want you to hear why they matter. In my experience, when eating for your eyes fails, it almost never fails because the fruit was wrong. It fails in the details. The timing was off. The dairy was in the way. The fat was missing. Small mechanical details, each one invisible, each one quietly deciding whether the nutrients you swallowed ever reached the tissue you ate them for. Get these 5 right and everything above works harder. Get these wrong and you can eat everything on this list and shortchange the benefit. Rule 1. Avoid pairing dairy with your evening fruit. Certain proteins and minerals may interfere with the absorption of the beneficial pigments found in your meal. Give it 90 minutes of space. Rule 2. Always include a little healthy fat, a few walnuts, a slice of avocado, a teaspoon of olive oil. These nutrients do not board the bus without fat. Rule 3. Wash gently. The compounds live in and near the skins. A rough scrub under hot water sends them down the drain. Rinse cool, rinse gently, rinse right before eating. Rule 4, room temperature beats cold for flavor and digestion, and gentle beats processed everywhere. Whole fruit beats juice every single time. Rule 5, timing. Eat your evening fruit 6 to 90 minutes before bed, early enough to digest, close enough to sleep that the nutrients are circulating while your eyes do their overnight maintenance. Hit that window, and you have given the research its best chance to work for you. And because I know some of you are already reaching for a notepad, let me give you the whole plan in one breath. Ready? 2 golden kiwis, an hour before bed, scooped close to the peel. Or a cup of watermelon, lightly chilled, no salt. Black currant extract, 50 milligrams, with a few walnuts. A third of a cup of wild frozen blueberries, thawed, never with dairy. A quarter avocado alongside whatever you chose, because fat is the fairy. Goji berries soaked soft, 2 tablespoons, with a square of dark chocolate. And an orange a day, whole, not juiced. Pick 1 or 2, not all 7. Rotate through the week. Keep dairy 90 minutes away. Gentle rinse, room temperature, 6 to 90 minutes before sleep. That is the entire protocol. Screenshot this part if it helps. It costs less per week than a single copay. So let us bring it together. Blurry vision is not simply a birthday you have to accept. Behind much of it are specific named processes: oxidative wear, quiet inflammation, sluggish circulation. And a steady body of research says that what you eat and when you eat it can support the eyes you already have. Imagine reading the small print without hunting for better light. Driving at night without that tight grip on the wheel. Waking up and the room is simply clear. Looking at the people you love and catching every detail. That is what this is really about. Not fruit, independence. Now I want to hear fence. Now, if your eyesight were noticeably clearer tomorrow morning, what is the first thing you would want to look at? Your grandchildren, a garden, a sunset you have been squinting at for years. Put it in the comments. I read every one, and I mean that. If you found this useful, please hit the like button and subscribe for more science-backed tips on supporting your well-being as you get older. And share this with someone over 60 who matters to you. You might genuinely change what their next 10 years look like. And remember what I told you at the start. This video educates. It does not diagnose. Keep your eye appointments and bring your questions to them. Take care of your eyes. They are irreplaceable.